So far, cryptocurrency has lived up to the narrative of being a volatile investment with a track record of boom and bust cycles. This has left many wondering whether it is safe to invest. The price of Bitcoin, the most popular crypto asset, dipped below $16,000 in November of 2022, a year after it hit a rocket high of $69,000. Things have started looking hot for cryptocurrencies in 2023, but we just can't put the past events on a back seat without detangling some issues. Digital currency was on a downward trajectory throughout 2022, so there's a couple questions we like to ask. What fueled it, and was it all planned? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies are reeling from the shock over the recent regulatory crackdowns that some fear is part of the plan to quietly ban Bitcoin and crypto altogether. The Bitcoin price dipped 2 weeks ago from year-to-date highs of over $24,000 per Bitcoin, dragging down the Ethereum price and other major cryptocurrencies. This effect impacted the combined crypto market as it was pushed back under the closely watched $1 trillion level. And now, despite a legendary trader making a shocking prediction about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the crypto upside, fears are growing as a looming war on crypto is just getting started. Last month, the US Securities and Exchange Commission was gearing up to sue the issuer of one of the largest so-called stablecoins, Paxos, for selling BUSD as an unregistered security, as reported by the Wall Street Journal. The New York Department of Financial Services offered Paxos to stop issuing BUSD, which boasts of a market capitalization of around $15 billion. A market analyst, Marcus Soteru, said in an emailed note, "The SEC war on crypto is only just getting started." Remember that major crypto exchange Kraken was propelled to shut down its US staking service after being fined $30 million by the SEC. Indeed, it is just getting started. SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who had previously said he considered almost all cryptocurrencies to be securities that need registration with his agency, stated that the charge against Kraken should put everyone on notice who operates in the crypto marketplace. So much has happened in crypto over the past year. The SEC's actions are quite understandable. In the wake of the collapse of the FTX exchange and subsequent charges filed against the company and some of its executives, regulators are cracking down on cryptocurrency markets. Various reports have proven that once the SEC ramps up its investigations, other regulatory authorities will also join in with their enforcement investigations and actions. Currently, the SEC, which remains the leading regulator of the financial and securities industries, is growing in headcount. This increase in headcount will help the agency's ability to review, investigate, audit, examine, and potentially prosecute security law violations related to these new crypto products and trading activities. In May of 2022, the SEC announced that the agency would hire 20 additional regulatory personnel. The new hires will be tasked with being responsible for protecting investors in crypto markets and from cyber-related threats. However, crypto executives such as Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong are skeptical of Gary Gensler's actions. The Coinbase CEO explained that the US is behind on getting its regulatory act together, while the rest of the world embraces crypto. Armstrong also defended Coinbase's staking product called for a clear rulebook on crypto assets. He further criticized Gensler's regulation by enforcement approach. Many crypto executives are firing back at the SEC's actions, making it seem like the crash was all planned for the government to get a firm grip on cryptocurrencies. On the flip side, this does not look like it entirely. Bitcoin is incredibly volatile, and it is vulnerable to rising and falling sharp daily. However, it's not the only cryptocurrency that has had a tumultuous moment. The slump in November 2022 was instigated by the collapse of the FTX exchange, which handled around $1 billion in transactions every single day. Its collapse had a knock-on effect with the other crypto exchanges, and impact is still strongly felt throughout the entire crypto market. In June of 2022, Bitcoin dropped below $20,000 for the first time since 2020. This was driven by the decision of the Celsius Network, a major US cryptocurrency lending company, to freeze withdrawals and transfers, citing extreme conditions. This move also fueled a slump across the entire crypto industry as well. China's consistent crackdown on crypto has played a part as well. There's also been speculation that crypto operations could come to a standstill in Russia. Also, there has been sudden and shocking sell-offs of major cryptocurrencies. This has triggered a panic and further sell-offs as investor confidence is knocked down. Well, Bitcoin has recovered from some of its losses this year, but this does not entirely take away from the traumatic experience that the crypto crash caused. I guess a question you might ask is, why is Bitcoin so volatile? Unlike traditional investments where price movements may be well influenced by the performance of businesses, Bitcoin has no underlying asset. This implies that the movements in its price are purely based on speculation among investors about whether it will rise or fall in the future. As a result, there can be severe swings in the price of Bitcoin. there's also been many incidents that has caused the price to fluctuate. A lot of negative stories and threats of further regulation flooding the internet have pushed the price of Bitcoin down. One of the major events happened in May of 2021, when Tesla boss Elon Musk said that the electric car maker would no longer be accepting digital payments over the concerns about the influence of crypto mining. Another event was in June of 2021, when the US President Donald Trump described Bitcoin as a scam competing against the dollar to be the currency of the world. Of course, there have been positive stories too. An example is when Amazon posted a job advertising for a digital currency and blockchain product lead in July of 2021, prompting speculation that it will soon accept Bitcoin payment. Last September, El Salvador also made Bitcoin a legal tender. Other stories have been more mixed in terms of what they imply for cryptocurrencies. Among them have been the US Federal Reserve considering whether to launch a central bank digital currency, or a CBDC for short. Bitcoin is now showing signs of recovery, but it still has a long way from its record highs. Notably, when an asset rises very rapidly in price and surges to an all-time high, typically this makes a crash more likely, or at least a correction in a sense, which is when the price falls back down to a much more normal level. This seems to be Bitcoin's current situation. Remember that it took the cryptocurrency 11 years to climb to the $20,000 level and only 3 weeks for the price to double down from there. A much more decisive year for crypto investors was 2013. Bitcoin went from $13.40 at the start of the year to a high in December of $1,156, before dropping to about $760 3 days later. So the level it is heading to next is equally unpredictable. Nevertheless, some crypto market watchers remain optimistic about the prospects for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, predicting that they will be tested in the coming days and remain guided by the Federal Reserve system of rate hikes. While Bitcoin was shown general resilience in this rally that started on January 1st, we are now looking at a key level which should in the coming days indicate whether the rally continues or if we see a steeper correction, Joe DePascal, the CEO of BitBull Capital, said. He added that after losing both $23,000 and $22,000 levels, Bitcoin is now making an underside test, which can see it attempt to reclaim the $23,000 mark. He further explained that if the speculations fell through, the market leader could fall towards the $20,000 mark rather quickly. Quote, "As usual, the market is also reliant on macroeconomic developments, and given how December 2022 consumer prices were found to be higher than previously expected, the market may start to consider a bigger rate hike in the next Fed meeting," he noted. Meanwhile, Brian Armstrong recently said that the exchange will happily defend its crypto staking services in court if needed. Armstrong posted to Twitter, "Coinbase's staking service is not a security." As a result of the overwhelming majority of value, many crypto prices are correlated to Bitcoin. Typically, as Bitcoin goes, so does the rest of the market. Fortunately, there is a strong reason to believe that Bitcoin could be ready for another leg up and will likely lead to the return of the bull market. When evaluating Bitcoin's price in the past, there seems to be a special phenomenon that happens when Bitcoin's next halving is a little less than a year and a half away. From here, the downside risk is typically at its lowest, while the profit potential is at its highest. The performance of Bitcoin before and after this key event remains to be seen, but we can project with a high level of optimism and confidence that this cycle is playing out just like in the previous years. Bitcoin is in a unique territory, and that only comes once every 4 years, and it could be a great season for investors to buy, as the possibility that the worst might be behind us seems to be becoming more and more true day by day. Well, that's the end of today's video. Be sure to click on the subscribe and notification buttons.